like we're having coffee with them and they're just eavesdropping. So.
Exactly.
So you studied math in UCLA. So what did you see as your career ambition? I mean, what do you do in math?
I know. My career aspirations were to be a math professor. So I knew I was going to, major in math. I was going to do my master's and my PhD because I wanted to be a doctor. And then I was thinking as I started studying the actuary exams because I was looking at the risk assessments for insurance companies and kind of where I could go with that after graduation. I found myself sitting at a pool in Palm Springs with all of my friends during the summer after graduation, studying, going, again, I am a loser. I need to be having fun in life. So for me, I quickly learned that I probably should just go get a job, and which I did, working at Hughes Aircraft Company in the finance field. And for me, math was easy for me. So that's where I today feel comfortable around numbers, but coming out of my shyness and really getting into what I believe I do best, and that's the social networking and really having people see their value, and I love bringing the possibilities out in others. So I started getting the gift of gab, and just you can't shut me up.
Where do you think you developed that? Where do you think you developed that gift of conversation?
I think once I let go that it wasn't about me and that the attention was, even today I can't drive in the car with my boyfriend who gets in the wrong lane and I'm like, oh my God, people are staring at us, they're honking at us. The attention, anything that's away from me. So I think it was about getting out of myself that brought me out of that shyness and talking about others and seeing a smile develop on their face. And it just, probably the soccer and hanging out with all the soccer boys and girls in college then,
Yeah, and soccer's a very social sport.
It is. It's very social.
Sport.
I was always into the team sports, and it was the support you felt from the guys' team coming out to the women's games and vice versa, and just the protection, that kind of family that it allowed you to develop and become, a real person, and maybe trusting. I don't know. Maybe it was more about trusting and friends and being more outgoing.
Well, I'm so glad to have somebody who looks like you, who's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Is a math whiz. I think that's very telling, because I think we kind of see that, a math person, somebody with the dark glasses with the tape on the middle, and the pocket protector, and it's good to see that math can be sexy and fun and exciting. I also think it's interesting about, I thought it's really engaging what you're talking about, how getting to know other people. It's not about you, but that's how you discover yourself. And that's one of the things I love about what I do, in that our conversations, because I think every single person we are privileged to meet has a story worthy of a movie.
Exactly.
So, and I think if we take the time to get to know anybody, I don't care whether the person's serving food or whatever, everybody's got a story, and if you take the time to get to know them, it's fascinating to understand.
Exactly, and people just like to be asked about them, and I think just engaging in that and listening, not waiting for when can I, there's a pause so that I can break in and say something about me. It's really getting into, and you can see it. I think people, the employees of my company, my job that I love is walking around, talking to my employees, hearing what they're working on, and you just see the excitement in their faces, and then you talk about the impact that they're making on their customers and the future of the company, and it is amazing to watch somebody just kind of grow in front of your eyes, and to me that's the excitement of business.
I think that's really important when you have employees who are spending the day with you, are contributing their talents and sharing them with you, that we recognize them. I think that they find actually in studies that that's almost more valuable than the money you pay them.
Exactly.
Recognizing their work. So that's a word to everybody here who works with people. It's recognizing what people bring to it. That is more valuable, I think, than money's important, but they find that recognition is
their
far more
value,
important.
and actually, as well as the job that they're working on, that they love what they're doing. And as long as they feel a part of or valued, definitely it's as significant as compensation.
So what about your two siblings? So you have an older sister.
Older sister.
And a younger brother. So were they math whizzes? What were their interests in?
No, I am the oddball in the family. I think with my my sister, she was more the social butterfly, and again, our closeness in age, her friends were always very friendly to Amy's little sister. which she got very jealous during the school. So high school, we would actually not really, we would walk right by each other. Like, isn't that your sister? Yep, it is. That's my sister. Yeah. Don't know her. There was a lot of jealousy. We played sports together, and I was always better than she. But she and I came to love each other when I went away to school. But school wasn't her thing. I think that she really wanted to be a mother, a good wife, and so boys were her thing. But she's got 4 great kids today, and just, you know, what's really cool is that we see our lives so differently. I see her life as, boy, I wish I had that, and my sister, I wish I had that, you know, whether it's the freedom or the stableness of family, and it's just allowing each other to really appreciate what we both have. My brother is, I think he, again, excelled at sports. He and I were very competitive, always coming home to figure out who did best in the soccer game for the weekend, and you know, he remembers his childhood a little differently as the one who was picked on the most, growing up with 3 women in the house because my father wasn't there. And but again, he tried school in California and college after high school, and went as far as he wished, and then he just got a job and is happily married now with their first baby. So,
oh, great, great,
yeah,
great.
So
your journey is also very interesting because you're living in California. Your father's retired. Did your father remarry, or either of your parents remarry?
Neither one remarried, which made a very interesting story after he passed away. But he, after leaving California, retired the Marines in D.C., and then started his career working for the government contracting arena in aviation. His passion was always aviation. And so whether it was DOD or the FAA, he partnered with other friends in the industry, and after working several companies, decided to start his own business.
So, and CSSI, what does that stand for?
CSSI stands for Leadership, Commitment, Loyalty, Teamwork. So CSSI, it's an interesting question because it's not an acronym, and I almost said we had to go through a branding of the company.
And I knew that's what I wanted to ask.
So the branding of the company went when I was, and I do a lot of tests when the leadership team goes, oh, we're good at this. Really? Let's check in with that, asking employees if we're really good at that, or customers. And so I was testing what the CSSI stood for and what it meant to employees, because customers want to know what it stands for. So I was in Charleston, South Carolina with about 40 employees, and I said, what does CSSI stand for? And one of the gals is so excited because she knows the answer. I know. I'm like, yes, Karen. She says, it stands for nothing. Like, that's what we need to change. Yeah. So I looked at her and said, we're changing that. So we went through a whole, should we get a name? Should we put a name to it? Because I know my father did not want to put Castillo to the name. He had another business prior to that. And I think for him, it wasn't just boxing him to something that he wanted to grow more out of. So it's still not an acronym. We do stand for our values, and our values are several things.
I think that's a great answer for that, because there are companies like Innova, you know, Innova, the hospital system here, doesn't stand for anything.
Right.
And I think that's fascinating when people.
It's interesting.
It is interesting, you know. So
because people want the name, they want to associate it with something.
Yeah, and you assume CSSI is Castillo, and what's the rest of it?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Well, you stepped into your role, which is very similar to mine. I was living in Dallas, Texas. You were living in California. We consider ourselves those kind of girls over there.
Not
you know,
DC, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not DC girls.
Exactly.
And what brought me here is my brother passed away, and I stepped in to take. He wasn't married. And so the company that he owned passed to my mother, and I stepped in to take over his leadership. You had a very similar incident, and you weren't planning on what happened.